Hey guys, Hector here at Fanime 2017, and I'm here with
Magnetrex, otherwise known as the Great Magnetrex, internet critic and extraordinaire on the Boob Tube.
yeah. So we actually live in the same town, don't we?
Yes, we do. We just we had to go to another town in order to meet up at a convention. How ironic.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure how you found me or how I found you. I don't even remember. I think we both maybe went to SAC Anime and then just saw each other's videos or something.
I usually, when I started off on my YouTube channel, I usually had to start off very small because, as I learned once in marketing class, you got to start locally before you go globally. So how I heard about you and probably a few other local YouTubers is mostly because I looked up other YouTube conventions, other local conventions either in Sacramento, Stockton, or somewhere else, since I want to get the word out about my channel and also spread it around, like a word of mouth type of advertising. I saw your channel. You were pretty insightful with your knowledge of anime and otaku, right, gesundheit. And I figured, why not, hit you up and maybe a few others as well. Where were we?
All right. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
We're just working with what we got.
No, we're good.
So I was saying that some of the Japanese words are kind of hard to pronounce, even for people who are familiar with them.
Yeah.
Like there's some people. Well, I've even taken Japanese classes, and still some people have a tough time saying some things here and there. But I feel, at least with a background in Spanish, it is pretty similar to Japanese. So if you have a background in Spanish, you can kind of make a transition.
Si, senor.
So what exactly do you do on your channel? Because I tried to explain it in my going to Fanime video, but there's just too much to cover.
It's a variety channel, but the meat of it is mostly I review other YouTubers' short films and web shows, whether it be large or small, like Red vs. Blue or Video Game High School or some of the smaller stuff as well. And I give it pretty much an honest rating, like a 1-to-5 ratio, because I've always been a big fan of people like the Angry Video Game Nerd and the Nostalgia Critic doing their internet reviews, and they may put a little spin on it, make it entertaining. And so the idea of me focusing mostly on internet-based shows and films is much easier for me, but also at the same time it's sort of unique in its own way because no one else has done it other than your typical vloggers who comment on what they think about this web show or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you said that you're specifically coming to Fanime to see the Nostalgia Critic, right? You want to tell us about that?
He's he's a role model of mine. What can I say? But I was expecting at least a booth or a panel for him to sell his stuff here. But I looked all over this place and he's not around. So, but apparently he's supposed to be here tomorrow. But I can't be here tomorrow because I got to work. I feel like I would just want to leave work just to meet him up. But I don't know if it's worth it or not. Just to hand him out a business card.
Yeah, and so you mentioned that you took business class or marketing class or something like that, and then before we're rolling, you were talking about all the different equipment you want to get. How much invested in this are you?
110%. That's how invested I am. But at the same time, I usually just save up a little money here and there with what I have in my personal savings and my 2 jobs. So, and I also learn a little bit more editing tricks and everything else along the way. So, green screens were pretty much the basic part because I'm going to do more. I'm planning on doing more future collaborations with other YouTubers and across other parts of the country and also other parts of the world. Apparently, I'm pretty big in Canada and Australia.
Really? I didn't expect that.
Yeah. You know how that YouTube graph ratio that is on your thing when you look up your analytics, it shows you people from other countries who's watching you. Apparently, America's #1, of course, for Canada, Australia, Great Britain, and of course Venezuela. Don't know why Venezuela, but that is pretty unique.
So, how many different conventions have you been to, and has it only been in the United States so far?
It's just the California states, and I plan on doing more. Maybe the biggest goal will be one day Comic-Con. I haven't been there yet, but from what I hear is that you're better off buying Super Bowl tickets rather than Comic-Con tickets.
And so I barely started cosplaying back in 2015, so I'm still kind of new to this, but I do want to bring the cosplay community together and just that sort of community together. And you said that you cosplayed a little bit.
Yeah, I cosplayed a little bit. I dressed up as during the second annual StocktonCon event that is held. I dressed up as one of the Night's Watchmen, and I tried vlogging that day as well, but it just didn't work out too well because I was wearing like 30 pounds worth of heavy garb black clothing in the middle of August, so that's not going to work out too well. So I just decided to dump it. So if I do cosplay again, I'll probably have to do it without a camera or something like that. But at the same time, this is a bit of a cosplay because I am a shameless internet critic.
Yeah, and then I noticed you got the Hand of the King.
This is actually a bit of a tribute to my friend, actually, who passed away last year. I did a whole video about it, but it was just more of a personal thing. He was a big fan of the Game of Thrones books before the TV show came out. He introduced me to them, and I was like, wow, this is so pretty awesome. And just as the second season came out, I started watching the TV series. And tragically, he died last year in a car accident, so, this is my little tribute to him. Otherwise, I would put a picture of his face, but I don't know, that seemed too weird.
I suppose, but that's really nice, man. Like I didn't mean to go on to a sore subject or whatnot.
No, that's fine. But like I said, it's been over a year, so old wounds tend to heal. Some others rather than not. But what you learn from that experience is that you just got to move on and keep doing what you got to do. Keep on keeping on. As the great Papa not Papa Frankie, the great the great Papa Ethan Klein would say.
Right, Papa bless.
Papa bless, yeah.
So do you usually buy anything at these conventions?
Sometimes I do. If it's something that catches my eye. When it comes to anime stuff, I just don't really have maybe a T-shirt or something, or one of these interesting little Pokeballs, which I remembered from the Burger King days.
Yeah, and didn't they ban them because they're suffocating kids or something?
Well, I ain't a kid.
Well, I know.
Tough on them. I got about 4 of these actually, and one of them is actually. And before that, I got a couple from the previous StocktonCon, and one of them was the Mew in the prototype Master Ball. So I was like, yeah, I got a Mew. So yeah, there's some stuff I buy. I'm more of a comic book guy myself, X-Men stuff and everything else. Mostly team-based comic books because I like superhero team comics.
Yeah, and I'm probably the biggest thing that I am is, a Pokemon fan. And I just saw so many different Pokemon things over in the convention alley, but I'm trying to save my money because, those exhibit areas can just suck away all your money, right?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
So, anything else you want to tell people? Where can they find you other than just YouTube? Well, you can mention your YouTube channel, of course, and any other places?
I also stream on occasions on twitch.tv. /Magnetrex87, and I'm usually on Twitter at Magnetrex as well. So you guys, but then again, you can always just click on my YouTube, my YouTube profile and everything. All the links are there and everything else. So youtube.com/the Boob Tube.
The Boob Tube.
Yes, exactly.
An interesting name, but thanks for having some time out to do an interview with me.
Oh, no problem, man. It's my pleasure.
Great to finally meet you.
Maybe we'll do more in the future.
Mm-hmm.